How's it going, everybody? In this video, I'm going to give you a quick update on what happened today in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So let's talk about this. But real quick, before we jump into this video, if you think you have a right to self-defense under the Second Amendment, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I also want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of the channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense and liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I'll put a link to them down in the details section. Also, I want to let you know that this content is powered by the Firearms Policy Coalition. So head on over to joinfpc.org to help support the Second Amendment cause. Thank you again, Firearms Policy Coalition, for supporting this channel. So like I said in the intro, in this video, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what happened today in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. The jury is still trying to come up with a verdict, but there were some important things that happened. Now, this is just going to be a quick video, mainly because today is my birthday. I turned 30 today, so I don't plan on doing something super elaborate today. I just want to get this information to you guys. And also, as you can probably tell from my voice, I'm a little bit sick, so didn't want to spend a whole lot of time just breaking down all the nitty-gritty of this stuff, but there were some really important things that happened today that I thought you guys should be aware of. So the first main thing that has happened is late last night, there was a motion filed by Kyle's defense counsel, and that motion that was filed was for a mistrial with prejudice. Now, first you may be asking yourself at this point, what is a mistrial? A mistrial is essentially a trial rendered invalid through an error in the proceedings of the case. So a lot of us were anticipating maybe a mistrial motion would be filed based on a bunch of prosecutorial misconduct issues that arose during the case. For example, Binger, one of the prosecutors, made comments during the trial, during the cross-examination of Kyle, that Kyle did not speak up, did not give his facts to the media or to anyone else until the trial, and that went to Kyle's Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. And bringing that up during an open trial, during cross-examination before a jury, is a violation of someone's constitutional rights to remain silent under the Fifth Amendment, which is a big no-no. And he did that in front of the judge, he did that in front of the jury, and was scolded by the judge for doing that. Because again, that is a constitutional violation. You have the right to remain silent. If you don't want to talk to the DA, if you don't want to talk to media, if you don't want to give your case until the actual trial, you don't have to. Beyond just violating Kyle's Fifth Amendment right, Binger also tried to introduce evidence into the case in front of the judge and jury as well, which was some evidence that the judge had already said must be excluded and had excluded that evidence. And after both of those instances is where you had the judge go after Binger and you had a lot of those memes pop up. Now, a motion for a mistrial with prejudice means that the case is thrown out and the state/prosecutor cannot come back and try to retry the case. A mistrial without prejudice means that the case is thrown out, but the state and prosecutors can take another crack at the case and try to retry Kyle for the same issue. Now, that motion for a mistrial with prejudice was looming going into the jury deliberations today. Well, then during the deliberations, the jury requested to review some of the video evidence that was submitted during the trial. One of those videos was the FBI drone footage that was played during the trial. We'll come to find out, Binger and Krause, the prosecutors, also engaged in prosecutorial misconduct in regards to that specific footage. The prosecutor never sent that footage they intended to use and submit to the jury as evidence to the defense counsel. So they never sent the true form of that video to Kyle's defense counsel, which is a big no-no. Instead, they sent a different manipulated, compressed video to Kyle's defense counsel. So when the defense looked at the video and they were deciding what evidence to be submitted to the jury, they agreed because they agreed based on the video they had, but come to find out that wasn't the correct video. It was a compressed video, not as good as the image, so the prosecutor pretty much withheld evidence and withheld the better evidence for themselves is what it seems like. Now, why is that so important? Well, the fact is that that FBI drone footage that was never sent to Kyle's defense counsel is actually the linchpin that the prosecutor's whole case is built on. The prosecutor is relying on the video to show that Kyle pointed his rifle at the Zeminskis, and therefore he was provoking Rosenbaum to chase him, and that goes to their whole theory of the case, that Kyle provoked these attacks on him, and therefore he is not entitled to self-defense. Also, if you watch the trial, you'll remember that there was a lot of debate about whether the evidence in the first place of this video should ever be submitted, because the prosecutor wanted to do this kind of pinch and zoom effect on an iPad or an iPhone, something like that. And the issue is, and there's a lot of evidentiary basis for this, that when you actually pinch and zoom on iPads or whatever, it actually manipulates the pixels, and what happens is the AI in that iPad or iPhone actually inserts pixels into the image and kind of comes up what it believes the image should look like. So it's not even a true reliable photo or video or image of what is actually going on. Instead, it is kind of an AI generated format if you do that pinch to zoom effect. So there was a ton of controversy around that video just in general. And then when the jury requested today to review those videos, they wanted to replay those in trying to come up with their verdict. This led to a discussion between the judge and the parties again about this whole issue. The judge during these questionings said that he was very queasy about the actions of the prosecutor. He had mentioned multiple times prior that they were crossing the line, if not had already crossed the line. And again, he was very concerned about some of their actions. There was a lot of back and forth during the discussion where one of the prosecutors, Krause, said, well, I don't know how this happened. Then he even blamed one of the detectives, saying, well, maybe it was one of the detectives who did it the wrong way. And then he even threw Binger under the bus as well, saying, well, maybe it was Binger who mistitled this, sent the wrong one, whatever. Essentially trying to cover his tracks because they knew they had gotten caught for doing something that was very shady and actually should lead to a mistrial with prejudice. And why I said that is one of the shocking things that happened during this discussion was that Kyle's defense counsel then asked the judge for a mistrial without prejudice. So again, we talked about a mistrial with prejudice and without prejudice, but essentially what they're asking for here is for the case to be thrown out, but they want to open the door or leave the door open for the state and prosecutor to take another crack at this case and try Kyle once again. So this was a huge shift from that motion they had just filed the night before where they sought with prejudice. Now they're saying without prejudice. And in reaction, the judge said that he wouldn't rule on the motion since the jury had not yet been shown the video again. But later the video was actually sent to the jury for them to watch once again. So they did replay that video. And so now the court is going to have to decide at some point on that motion. So I really hope a mistrial without prejudice is not granted personally, because Kyle will have to go through the whole show and circus once again. We'll have to go through the whole trial again. But it appears the judge was essentially playing the wait and see how the jury issues their verdict, see what it is, and then based on that, we'll determine, I guess, if there was misconduct and if this case needs to be thrown out based on a mistrial with prejudice or without prejudice. So that's just a quick update. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you guys like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of two-way news. So thank you so much to everybody who's liked, commented, subscribed, who's supported the channel. You guys helped me reach my 200,000 subscriber goal by the end of the year. We are now marching towards 300,000 subscribers. And also it'd be really neat for my birthday present. One of the only things I really want, one is for Kyle to go free, but another cool thing would be if you guys subscribe to the channel. So if you guys are a longtime lurker, if you're a new subscriber, consider subscribing. And if you comment down below that you're a new subscriber, I'll make sure I comment back to you. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this is with Built Barm Scholars and Station we maintain Barm Scholars.